I'm going to read about what is, I think, my favourite grift I've ever heard.
Wonderful.
So this is from the Newcastle Herald. Mm-hmm. The headline is, Pretzels making punters thirsty.
I like pretzels.
A Newcastle restaurant that had only one item on its menu after 9 p.m. A German-style pretzel with cheese dipping sauce.
Oh, sounds good.
Has been fined $4,700 for operating as an unauthorized bar.
Oh. Does it serve alcohol?
Five Sawyers licensee Benjamin Jewson pleaded guilty last week in Newcastle local court after the offence was detected during a liquor and gaming at New South Wales compliance operation. Inspectors visited the Derby Street restaurant between 9:35 and 10:25 on September 16 last year and found no table service was being offered and patrons were buying drinks from the bar. The duty officer told inspectors that they had only a limited menu available after 9 p.m, with the sole item being a German-style pretzel.
Yum.
I just think that's, like, in terms of... Because there's a lot of restrictions around the way you can do bars, and I've never thought of the idea of lying and saying that it's a restaurant and saying, no, we serve food. Look, it's a pretzel. And just holding it up.
It's a pretzel emporium. Duh.
We're a pretzelarium. And okay, I've got a counter suggestion actually. What if this actually did start out as legitimately just a pretzel restaurant? So it was a pretzelarium. But then
people were thirsty.
Yeah, people were thirsty, so they were like, all right, we've got to expand on this concept. We originally had 20 different kinds of pretzels on their menu and like 30 different kinds of cheese dipping sauces. But people only wanted their one German-style pretzel. And their one plain cheese. It's like that plastic cheese slices melted down. That's all they wanted is the dipping sauce.
Oh, God.
And then they kept saying,
they throw a craft single on a plate in the microwave.
That's how they
peel the plastic off first and then just...
They just make... They tried to experiment by getting, like, pretzels, as in, like, a bag of pretzels, and putting that in a bowl and just melting cheese onto it and kind of making a pretzel mac and cheese. And then people were like, no, that's the worst thing that's ever happened ever.
They just, Mr. Bean episode where he, like, breaks off the twig on his tree and dips it in Marmite and then he gives it to his girlfriend as a snack?
I don't, but that sounds wonderful.
Well, that happened in Mr. Bean, and that's what they're doing at this emporium in Newcastle. They're just breaking twigs off trees and dipping it in a craft single, which has been melted down lightly.
And then they're selling, like, 100 gin and tonics to wash it down and making the big bucks.
So people forget that what they've just eaten is a twig dipped in craft singles.
Okay.
I mean, it's fair enough.
Okay, maybe that's how it got started. So they offered them this twig craft single combo, and someone ate it, and they were like, "This is disgusting. Can I have my money back?" And then the person was like, "Here's this gin and tonic. Use that to wash it down." And they made them drink enough of them that they forgot.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So it's not really... It's not an illegal bar grift. What it is a grift to make people...
Go to a pretzel restaurant.
Go to a really bad pretzel restaurant. And perhaps they just didn't want to admit to the person who pioneered this great recipe that it was bad because they knew it would hurt their feelings.
Plus, alcohol dehydrates you, so you're going to want to keep buying more drinks after that. That's the ingeniousness of it. Like, they dehydrate you so much at the door with the pretzels. That when you get in there, you're like, no, I need fluid. Do you have any tap water?
Absolutely.
Do you have any tap water? It's like, well, it's diluted vodka, but we can make it work, I'm sure.
Our tap water's direct from the toilets, so maybe you might...
Our tap water got mixed up with the pretzel salt.
So we only offer bespoke salt water here, like straight from the ocean. So unless you want that... it's really vogue.
Did you bring your own desalinator? We're all about deconstructed foods these days.
Can you imagine? You go to a restaurant and you order a tap water and they just bring you like a glass of seawater and they place a desalinator on the table. You have to remove the crab from your glass of seawater, pour it into the desalinator, and then you can desalinate your own tap water.
And the crab is bonus protein.
Yeah. It's really bespoke, actually.
Ultimately,
like, if I was...
that's basically a protein bar gym food that right there. Like, you have to carry the desalinator, then you get to eat the crab, then you have to... The desalinator, obviously, like, you wouldn't be so gauche as to have an electricity-powered one. You do have, like, a winding desalinator.
Oh,
so you have to do that workout as well.
You could attach it to, like, one of the exercise bicycles, so as you pedal, your water desalinates. And you can only drink water during your workout if you're working out really hard enough for your water to desalinate. Otherwise, you have to drink salt water.
You know how you get, like, rowing machines and they'll work with, like, this sort of, like, tube thing of water at the front of it?
Yeah.
I'm now imagining if you go on, like, a long rowing adventure out on the ocean, you're going to reach the problem of, like, you're going to run out of water. But not if you have a desalination plant built in that uses the power of your rowing to, like, filter the water through, and then it just tubes it right into your mouth. And if you don't row hard enough, you're going to get salt water in there. So you've got to keep going at, like, max speed the whole time.
So you're telling me that it pumps the water into your mouth at a kind of regular interval, so you have to keep rowing,
yes,
otherwise
exactly.
you're going to have
salt water in there, and it's not going to be very nice for you.
It's going to be blasted directly into your mouth.
Oh, God.
We're solving a lot of world issues today. It's solving global warming. We've got the new power plan. We're solving childhood obesity, because I'm assuming we're going to implement this in schools.
Yeah. Obviously.
In all schools.
Also, we are kickstarting this shit out of personal desalinators because, like, we're making big bucks off that.
But the market we're targeting is not individuals. We're going to target the bespoke restaurant scene so that they can have it on the table for the tap water service.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Deconstructed water. But then you have to consider, like, okay, if you are deconstructing water, so is that, like, tap water's the final product? Are we talking, like, H2O? Are we giving you're giving them a bottle of, like, hydrogen, a bottle of oxygen, and you're like...
You have to do the scientific reaction.
There's, like, a beaker and a spoon, and you're like, figure it out. Google it.
You're given, like, the scientific procedure on how to make the molecules mash together. That's the scientific terminology there.
At that point, you're basically God. So really, we're giving you a gift.
So, well, like, how far could you go to deconstruct it, though? Because you could break it down from the hydrogen molecules and have, like...
level?
Yeah, a series of, like, protons and neutrons and electrons and all that kind of stuff.
Warning, when mixing up your water, be careful not to split any atoms. You can and will destroy everyone in the city. You may open a black hole to another world. Whilst this may seem like an exciting concept, please refrain, as you and all of your loved ones will die.
And in the future, like, it's going to be one of those places that those really risk-taking tourists go to that, you know, you might die of radiation poisoning because someone split an atom there and made a nuclear reaction thing. And it's really radioactive now, but people go there on holidays. And they're like, tour guides like, yeah, so one day... someone got their deconstructed water and they accidentally cut right into the atom, cut it right in half. And that's the story.
Picture this, 100 years in the future. A grizzled man sits by a campfire under a burnt-out building. A young girl is listening to him tell stories of the before times. She says, "What happened? How did all this start?" And he says, "Well, there was two foolish young kids recording what they called a podcast. They had this crazy idea to deconstruct water down to the subatomic level and sell it for money. And the rest, as you know, is history. Now the world's ended."
I feel personally responsible for killing the entire world, so please don't try this at home.
Yeah, like, don't at me. I don't want to deal with the...
Yeah, the aftermath.
of that. Just let it happen.
Yeah, look, if the world ends because someone split an atom in their deconstructed water emporium, then it's not really my fault. I was just taking this to its logical conclusion. Blame the person who brought deconstructed toast
into
the
existence.
world. Yeah.
I can't really remember how we got onto this, so would you like to bring us another story, please?
What story did we even start with?
Oh, it was the pretzels thing.
Okay. Well,
The Red Menace, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you came here for.